Hey y'all, it's Manda again of the Shadowlands. This time I'm bringing you Directive 7. Our first boss is a mini-boss named Detector. You'll notice here that both myself and our other DPS, Marauder, we're going to take out two turrets that spawn on the left. While we do this, our tank is going to go ahead and keep focused solely on the boss. Once those turrets go down, the DPS will then turn their attention to the boss. From here out, it's just a simple tank and spank. Our second bosses are Theta, Beta, and Zeta. They're three assassination droids of Mentor. There are two things you really need to look out for on this fight: the orange and the blue shields. Orange does reflective damage, while the blue absorbs. So throughout this fight, you'll notice that they constantly switch back and forth who has blue, who has orange, and who has none. To keep things simple, we mark all three so we can tell who doesn't have a shield on them. Our next boss is the Interrogator. Take note of the two chambers on either side of the Interrogator as we jump in. Periodically, and in a few seconds here, you're going to see red text flash across the screen that says Razorbyte has been scanned, searching for matching organic. That message is quickly followed by a cyborg replacement for Razorbyte has been released. These ads mimic whoever they scan, but they don't necessarily mimic your advanced class. If you're an Imperial agent, what comes out of the tubes could be either a sniper or an operative. So you can see our DPS dispatching the ads while our tank remains on the boss. Once these are down, the DPS will return to the boss, and this will continue throughout the fight. Expect everyone in the party to be scanned at least once.
Yeah, I've just been scanned.
As you can see, there aren't really any major AoEs or special effects that you need to watch out for. It's just a simple tank and spank. Snipering, not moving out.
Nice job on that one, guys.
Our next boss is Bulwark.
Alright.
This boss does have a slight frontal AoE. For that reason, our tank is going to grab him and turn him away from the rest of the group.
Go.
Meanwhile, our group is going to split into two. On one side, we're going to have the healer and one DPS. On the other side is going to be our other DPS. And here's why our group is split, because you're going to see that Bulwark is about to become green, and he's not going to take any more damage. Our DPS are going to turn around and hit those buttons, and that's going to enable us to be able to attack him again. Repair droids incoming. As you may have just heard over our Mumble server, I called out repair droids incoming. Periodically throughout the fight, these little droids are going to spawn, and they're going to try to repair those buttons that you broke. They need to be taken down, otherwise Bulwark will become invincible again. Depending when you're viewing this video, there are some things of Bulwark cast that may or may not be interruptible. It never hurts to try. This boss is technically skippable. If you're very careful, you can sneak in behind him. But I'll briefly go over the mechanics. The assembler is very much like the first mini-boss we encountered. There are two turrets on the left which need to be taken out first. One major difference here, though, is that those turrets will do some major damage against your DPS, so you want your tank to taunt them away from them. Once the turrets are down, you can focus your attention on the boss. It's just a simple tank and spank.
Your time will be nothing but memories and rotting flesh.
The final boss of Directive 7 is Mentor. He also happens to be one of my favorite boss fights in the hard modes. Mentor is that giant computer in front of us. When our tank initiates the fight, 2 giant turrets are going to spawn on the left and the right side of him. These turrets hit pretty hard, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the one on the left first, and we're going to line of sight the one on the right. Here you can see us going after that first turret, and you can also see a red ring on the ground following me around. Periodically, there will be some red text that'll tell you who is being targeted by that ring. It's called the claw. This is particularly hard on the healers, so if possible, your tank wants to step into that ring and throw off a couple of their taunts, and it'll switch targets to them. But don't stand in the ring too long, because there will be a beam of light that does some massive damage. Once the first round of turrets go down, you're going to see a red text message that says cores 1, 2, 3, or 4 have overheated. To figure out which core is which, face Mentor, and starting to his right, that's core 1, and then they all go clockwise. Make sure that your DPS takes out the core before turning on the turrets.
Doing this on new Mars, so I'm good at dodging that thing.
At the same time the DPS are taking out the core, an ad will spawn on the platform. Simply have your tank focus on the ad while your DPS are getting the turrets and the core. Once they're done, they'll join and help take him out.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong on it as well.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so don't worry about it. I paused on purpose for you to hear a little bit of our mumble conversation so that you could hear that our tank was having a few issues with the claw. We discovered that one of the best ways of drawing the claw to a Juggernaut tank is for them to use Force Scream. As our DPS go for the second core, you're going to see a green reticle on the ground, it's going to turn red, and then a missile blast. If you can, you want to try to avoid that.
Okay, take this turret over here.
As you can also see, the giant turrets have respawned. If you're trying to get an idea of the pattern of this fight, it goes turrets, core, add, core, turrets, core, add, core, Mentor. As you reach the final overheated core, your healer's going to have their work cut out for them. You see that green beam of light? It's doing a lot of damage, and it's very hard to avoid. If you have med packs, invulnerability, anything you can to boost up your health and make it easier for your healer, it's a good thing to try to do. Once the final core goes down, Mentor becomes attackable. Luckily, he doesn't have that much hit points, because that green beam of light is going to continue to hit you throughout it, so it's best to try to do as much damage as possible and end the fight quickly.
I'm down.
Dumbass beam.
Come on, you two. Mentor's at 10%. 4%.
Come on, come on.
Go, Amanda.
Yes.
Excellent.
Amanda's my hero.
I'm not wasting any more time listening to a bunch of machines.
So be it.
And that's it for Directive 7. Stay tuned for more videos from the Mors'mercator legacy.
Tell him, Darth Vader with pigtails.
Damaging.